Hello everyone and welcome to Star Trek for Dummies. Introducing today's dummy, Jack Douglas, aka Jacksfilms. Now this is how it's going to work. I have written various Star Trek trivia questions from across the entire franchise that I've separated into 3 rounds. All these questions are based off the very silly stuff that has occurred in Star Trek. For every question Jack gets wrong, he has to take a shot of his drink, which is just a nice little seltzer. Round 1 will be a true or false round.
Okay.
I'll be drinking beer.
It's tea for true, Ian.
It is true.
Yeah.
Round 2 is your typical multiple choice. A little harder, so I will be taking shots of wine.
Oh boy. Yes, let's go! Drink your wine! Yes! I don't know, I'm kind of struggling this round. This is the hardest quiz I've taken since my SATs. I was so sure too. I wasn't sure.
Round 3 is guess the synopsis.
Oh no, I am going to die.
Because that's going to be super difficult.
Yeah.
I will be taking shots of whiskey.
Oh my god, Ian.
And I'm going to be perfectly fair on this. Should Jack say any keyword or phrase or event that comes even remotely close to what the episode or movie is actually about, then I will take the L.
I like this.
And that brings us to our third and final round, guess the synopsis. This one, who knows how this one's gonna go. I don't know if Jack's gonna get tortured beyond belief or I'm gonna get tortured beyond belief, but here we go. So reminder, I will state an episode of Star Trek, and Jack, you are going to be the storyteller. You're going to give the synopsis of what you think this episode is about.
I can't wait.
I will give you either a hint or like a jumping off point.
Okay.
And I'll also give you like who the episode or movie is about.
Okay, cool.
So, or who the focus is, I should say.
Right.
Okay. Whiskey is poured. Here we go. We're starting off, I think, simple.
Yeah, right. Come on. You're overestimating my prowess here.
The first one is Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home.
Okay.
The movie Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home.
It's one of my favorites.
I will give you the jumping off point. So in the beginning of the movie, Kirk and crew have been living in exile on Vulcan.
Okay.
And they decided to go home. So if you say they're going home, that does not count.
Right. That's stricken from the record.
Yes. It can be as short as you want, as long as you want.
Obviously, I love it. This is a classic movie. It's a great film.
Absolutely.
So like,
yes, it is.
Kirk, that Captain Kirk, that scrimbly little, Captain Kirk. He steals a spaceship, or somehow, he finagles a spaceship to get out of Vulcan because he's crafty like that. He's not afraid of compromising some of his morals to get the job done. So he steals a spaceship. They get off the planet Vulcan, and they're on their way home. But oh no, it's not smooth sailing because they face many adversaries and obstacles on their journey home, such as they're stopped, they're halted. They get caught in a tractor beam actually by a much powerful entity, a much powerful force with their spaceships, right? But somehow that Captain Kirk, he just charms his way right out of the scenario and they get out of that. But then on their journey home, they also get caught by the actual Federation. The Federation is like, we had you exiled on the planet Vulcan for a reason. You're not gonna pass. You don't pass the muster. That's when Spock comes in, and he actually proves with reason how they should be free to go back home. And then the crew reaches home, and it's beautiful. And when the credits roll, I'm just a mess. I'm crying.
I mean, who isn't on that?
Who isn't at that point, So that's just a brief, albeit accurate summary of Star Trek IV. We all go home.
So once again, because I am a man of honor.
What did I say?
And I said if he came anywhere close or said key phrases,
was it tractor beam?
I would take the L. You said that they stole a ship.
Yes!
Before I'm going to take the L on this one. I'm going to take that shot. So let me tell you the actual synopsis.
Please.
After living in exile on the planet Vulcan for several months, the former crew of the U.S.S. Enterprise travel home to Earth in their commandeered Klingon bird of prey, which they stole from the previous movie, so I'm accepting that. En route, they learn of a mysterious probe decimating the atmosphere of Earth. Spock determines that the probe is trying to contact the now extinct species humpback whales.
Oh, this is the whales
It's the whale one! Well, you won anyway, so...
Yeah, fair.
In order to save Earth, Kirk and crew time warp back to the 1980s to find 2 humpback whales and bring them back to the 23rd century to appease the probe. Hijinks ensue.
I should have guessed it was the whale one, but...
I mean, you got commandeered ship. That... From the get-go, that took me by surprise.
I am very happy about that, can I say. All right, 1 down, 9 to go.
To the whale one.
You're gonna be eating your words, man.
I feel like this is the great equalizer, right?
It is, yeah.
Next up, the Next Generation episode, Sub Rosa. This one is a Dr. Beverly Crusher episode. It starts when she is attending the funeral of her grandmother. Go. Sub Rosa.
Okay. Alright, so it's all coming back to me now. This episode.
Of course.
Yeah, no, it's a toughie. It's a tearjerker of an episode. But after the funeral of her grandmother, Dr. Bev, I call her that.
Who doesn't?
She mourns properly. She goes to the ship bar, the spaceship bar. They have a bar there.
They do.
And she has like a green cocktail, and she's like, to my grandma, and the other crewmates are like, to your grandma. And that's when Picard is like, Dr. Bev, as I call you as well. Join me on the holodeck. We need to talk to Rosa Parks because it's very cool. So they go on the holodeck and they talk to they talk to Rosa Parks, and they have this really cool just kind of eye-opening conversation with Rosa Parks about what it means to be a leader and doing the right thing even when it's hard to do. And it pertains to Dr. Bev's grandmother in a very meaningful way. I don't know how exactly, but it does.
I was just about to ask, what was that meaningful way?
I don't. Well, I'm getting there. I'm feeling my way.
Sorry.
You can't forget. You have to remember. I haven't seen this episode in like 15 years. It's been a long time, right? So after the holodeck, someone says, Captain, there's enemy ships ahead. Picard says, that's impossible. And they say, well, there it is. And they look, and there are ships made of roses, hence the title of the episode, right? And Picard's like, this is highly improbable. I've never seen anything like this in my many years as a captain. And that's when Dr. Bev says, I'll take it from here, because she's jumping straight from the funeral. This pertains to her heavily, because her grandma always taught her that roses need to be tended to and taken care of.
Did she learn that from Rosa Parks?
No.
Okay.
No, that's very insensitive. She learned it from her grandmother. Okay. Rosa Parks is
no. Did her grandmother learn it from Rosa Parks?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Her grandmother learned this from Rosa Parks because they were buddies, and she says roses are to be tended to. So Dr. Bev guides Picard through the nebula of roses. It's a whole ass nebula of roses.
Nebula or ships?
No, it was nebula.
Okay.
It looked like ships. That's where you got confused. and they navigate their way through the nebulae of roses that look like ships.
Is that word nebulae? There's coffee in there.
There's coffee in there. No, that's a different episode. Just roses.
Sorry.
Just roses in this nebula. And through it all, they get to the other side, and finally Dr. Bev says, I learned something today. And then the credits roll. No, I'm sorry. Before she says that, she says, I learned something today. We're all a little sub Rosa. Roll credits. Take a drink, because I know I nailed that episode.
Yeah, no.
Tell me all about Sub Rosa.
Dr. Crusher attends the funeral of her grandmother, who lived on a colony that attempted to recreate the lifestyle of Earth's Scottish Highlands. She inherits her grandmother's cottage and belongings, which include a mysterious candle that holds an entity that takes the form of a young, attractive man who seduces her. Later to learn, this entity has been courting and seducing the women of her family in the same way for 800 years.
Oh my god.
This is known as the sex candle episode.
Stop it. How the was I gonna guess that, Ian? From funeral?
Hey, remember what I said in the very beginning? If you think what you're saying is too ridiculous to be in Star
You're not
Trek,
being ridiculous
you're not
enough.
being ridiculous enough.
No, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think it's clip time.
Oh, yeah, show me the sex... Jarvis, show me sex candle episode. Oh, Lord? Oh, Lord? How do we compete with that?
The very first time this entity hints at trying to seduce Crusher, she's lying in her quarters on the Enterprise, and then all of a sudden, just like the ghost blowjob scene from Ghostbusters,
Oh, no.
her nightgown strap lowers.
Wow.
And she starts like once again like writhing, like.
Wow, Star Trek.
It is. Wow.
Gotta start watching Star Trek.
Yes, you do. Jesus. Next one. The Turnabout Intruder. This is the original series. The original series, The Turnabout Intruder. And little factoid, this is actually the final episode that aired for the original series before it got canceled.
Okay.
This one is about Captain Kirk, which they practically all are. My hint to you is it involves a lady from his past.
So Captain Kirk is minding his own business, just being the captain of the Enterprise, doing his own Captain Kirk thing, and
As he does.
And then he gets a distress signal from a planet, and they're saying, anyone from Starfleet, please help us. And Captain Kirk is like, "'Tis our duty. We must help. We must help." So they go to this planet, and it's so weird. It's so weird, Ian. It's so weird. He sees two people. He sees his mom, who he didn't know was like still around, and then he sees one of his ex-girlfriends, and they're like, and he's like, "WTH are you doing on this planet?"
This is the 60s. What the hell?
Yeah.
Can't say that word.
We can't say the hell. So he says, "WTH are you doing on this planet? I don't even been on this planet before." And that's where the intruder. That's where the title comes into play here. Neither of these entities are what they seem. It's not his mom. It's not his ex-girlfriend. But the mother comforts him falsely, and the ex seduces him. She's like, "Oh, Captain Kirk." Maybe she doesn't say Captain, but she's like, "Oh, Kirk, don't you..."
might turn around. I don't know.
She's like, "Don't you remember what we used to have together?" And he's like, No. He's very like, William Shatner. He's like, "No, this isn't right." And so Spock says,
This isn't right. Spock.
And Spock comes in, and he's like, "Sir, this is highly illogical." He's like, Peter, this is highly illogical."
Peter.
Family Guy. But he's like, "Captain, this is highly illogical." At first, Captain Kirk is like, "Shut up, Spock. Nobody asked you. I'm reunited with my mother and my ex-girlfriend, whom I secretly love." But then Spock does a Vulcan pinch, and he pinches some sense into Captain, and he's like, "Oh my God!" This is after he slept with his ex, by the way. He sleeps with the ex, maybe his mom too, but let's just say the ex. He sleeps with his ex, and that's when it's confirmed afterwards, when he's like, "What have I done? She was an intruder the whole time. In fact, she's a different species." It turns out that both the person portraying to be Kirk's mother and his ex-girlfriend, they're part of the species. They're these annoying little intruders that they're like doppelgangers. They use your memories. They mind meld with your memories. They know how to infiltrate your deepest insecurities and regular securities. And so they somehow, it was through a sandwich he ate, a bad sandwich Captain Kirk ate, he got these germs from the species, and they got inside his brain cells, and they're like, boom, we got his mom, we got one of his many, many, many exes. He was
Now
a
you're
famous
thinking
lover.
Star Trek.
Right, I'm trying so hard.
Now you're thinking Star Trek.
And so they made manifest, on this planet, But they get away. The Enterprise gets away before they can set too deep their rooted tentacles in the Enterprise crew's brains.
Okay. Well, first off, fill that up.
Damn it. This is so hard.
All right. The Turnabout Intruder. An angry and disgruntled woman from Kirk's past tricks Kirk and switches bodies with him in order to take command of the Enterprise, which she feels she deserved, if not for the rule that women cannot be starship captains.
Wow.
Oh, the 60s.
Oh, the 60s.
A little rule, in fact, that just got completely swept under the rug afterwards.
Yeah, I can't imagine why.
Which is why I always want to ask those people who are very critical and staunch about canon.
Right. Yeah,
Why are there female Starfleet captains? Huh?
Oh.
Canon people? Huh? Canon purists? Why are there female captains? They're not allowed. Hi.
All right, fine. That was good.
Our next episode is the Deep Space Nine episode, One Little Ship.
Right.
This one features Dax, Bashir, and O'Brien on one of the runabouts. They had their own mission to do on a runabout. What happens?
And what are the three characters' names again?
Dax, who is like the science officer.
Thank you.
Bashir, the doctor.
Bashir.
And O'Brien, who is an engineer.
So Deep Space Nine.
Yes.
Chronologically, is that after
Deep Space Nine, damn shit.
Fine. Yeah. Was that after TNG? I mean, like, not just like in terms of broadcast date, but like
It overlaps. Both in chronology and broadcast.
So these three, this is really interesting. If you'll remember.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. It's a classic episode. They go. These three find themselves. They take a little shuttle onto. So they take a shuttle onto a new planet that they've never been on. Here's where it gets interesting. Everything on this planet is smaller. Everything on this planet is smaller. The planet's pretty small itself. The people are smaller. Even the goddamn ships are smaller. And they find themselves, they have to repair one small ship. Because that's where there's a crisis happening on this planet. Like, this ship that they have to repair is like this planet's version of the Titanic. It's I wouldn't say it's sinking because it's space, but like it's not doing great, and it needs repairs pronto. The equivalent of an iceberg has hit this one tiny small little ship, and it's up to our fellas, it's up to our boys Dax, O'Brien, and the other one to fix this one small ship, which is really a huge mega ship for these small people. And so you're probably wondering what's wrong with the ship. I'll tell you. The reactor at its core isn't nuclearizing properly, right? It's not turning those.
I hate it when that happens.
I honestly do. It's not turning those hydrogen atoms into other hydrogen atoms. It's just not nuclear reacting properly. It's a problem for these people because this ship is everything. What seems like a small step for you and me is a large step for these small Lilliputian
one
people.
giant leap.
Thank you.
These,
that was the simile I was trying to make. And so it's up to these three, real ragamuffin crew members of the Deep Space Nine crew. And thank God they have the engineer, as part of their crew, because he can really, he's literally tinkering, or he's got like the magnifying, glass thing or whatever. And he's trying to like right the bow of the ship, the equivalent of the bow, because it's a spaceship. It may not have, stern and a bow and all that bullshit.
They use nautical terms, yeah.
Do they use nautical terms?
Yeah.
Well then, yes, that's it's all coming back to me. Sorry, it's been so long. It's been about 40 years since I've seen this episode, but he's tinkering, he's righting the stern, and then they have to go. This is crazy. They actually have to shrink themselves to get inside the spaceship, and which they do. In fact, they're so small, they're actually smaller than the Lilliputian people inside the spaceship. It's very funny.
Shut up. Where did Putians come from?
That Lilliputian, that's a term from Gulliver's Travels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is real. I'm not bullshitting that. I just love using the term Lilliputian.
Does sound like an alien name.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they get inside the ship and they write the nuclear reactor within the ship. They save this planet's civilization. They save this planet's version of the Titanic. They are crowned heroes on this planet. And then they go back to the ship and they're like, Captain, look what we did. We got little metal. And the metals are very small. They're so small you can't even see the metals. They're like, look at the little metals. And the captain's like, I don't see shit. And then everyone does the whole like, they all like freeze frame laugh. They go, freeze frame, roll credits. It's a classic episode. And I'll just drink.
No. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving
What?
it to you. Yep.
What part? Yeah. Screwball it up, baby.
I'm giving it to you because this is essentially the Honey, I Shrunk the Ship episode.
Let's go! Let's go!
Dax, Bashir, and O'Brien are investigating an anomaly in a runabout that reduces their size the closer they get to it. While studying the anomaly, the Defiance, which is like an alternate ship that they use, is attacked by the Jem'Hadar, who board and take over the ship. While still in their reduced size, Dax, Bashir, and O'Brien must take the runabout, which is now about 2 inches big, inside the Defiant and help retake the ship.
That's exactly what I said. Oh, I feel so good.
That was good.
Star
That was
Trek, you
good.
just gotta bullshit your way. Just make some dumb bullshit up and something's gonna be right. Oh, little baby ship. Pew, pew, pew.
This guy's really starting to get on my nerves. Fire!
Nice. Torpedo lock. That's hilarious.
Jack, ready for the next episode?
I'm so ready.
I'm sure you remember this one. This one is Enterprise.
Oh, yes.
Early on in its run.
Yes.
But this is the episode Unexpected. This one is about Charles Trip Tucker III, the chief engineer of Enterprise.
Naturally. I know who he is. You know,
Yeah, of course. Sorry. Who, as you know, goes aboard an alien vessel to help them out.
Right. That's very him.
Yeah. Take it away.
Okay, yeah. So this is called Unexpected.
Unexpected.
And this is Star Trek Enterprise.
Yes.
And Captain Charles.
He's the chief engineer.
Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna call him Trip.
Yes.
Okay.
As everyone does.
So so Trip is he's helping aliens with repairs on their ship.
Yes.
This is when things get a little unexpected. And things start to go south, right?
Yeah.
He's repairing. So, like, what happened with the ship? You didn't explain like what happened with the ship. That's fine. I can explain.
That's part of the episode.
Yeah. So, like, the ship, like the navigation console won't turn on, right? So, it just he can't, like these aliens, these stupid aliens, they can't navigate without the navigation console. And he's like, I'm the chief engineer. If anyone's gonna help you, figure out the navigation controls, it's your boy Trip.
Yeah, he's got it.
You don't trip. So he's like, let me take a crack at it. Don't trip. Your boy Trip's got it. Let me take a crack at it. And he's looking at the console. He's looking at the equivalent of like their GPS system, navigation system on their OnStar, all that.
Galactic positioning satellite.
Right. Yeah.
Or system. Yeah.
Right. That's what,
Galactic positioning system.
Galactic position. Right. That's what the G stands for.
Yeah.
Galactic. So he's like checking this out. He's like tapping the compass. He's doing a lot of this to the compass. He's like, he's deep, he's trying to find the North Needle, and it's like there's not North in space, dummy, but it makes for good television. Then all of a sudden, this is crazy. All of a sudden, it's titled Unexpected for a reason.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
One of the aliens turns into a succubus, just a sex-crazed succubus. Almost like a not a hydra, but like a siren of the sea that calls to Trip, and Trip falls hook, line, and sinker. He's like, F the navigation system. I'm gonna bone this succubus, up, down, left, and right. Make that my navigation system, and just have my way with this succubus, because he's so enchanted by the siren. I keep wanting to use this word, and I'm not like a temptress, right? One of the aliens turns into a temptress. So they bone. and they bone on the ship that he's trying to repair. You know, that's why it's unexpected, right? And here's where it gets crazy. Their boning actually produces a love child that becomes joined with the ship. Like its spirit joins up with the ship, and all of a sudden the ship it gets even more haywire because not only does it need repairs, but now it has the spirit of this weird love child that Trip and the succubus formed. And it's evil. Obviously, it's evil. And of course, the classic Star Trek, right? So the ship is inhabited by this evil love child who only speaks in riddles, like real, like Gollum Lord of the Rings riddles. It's like, you know, like I have 3 legs that I cannot stand, and it just like starts talking like that for hours. And Trip has to abandon all of his knowledge of engineering because nothing, no textbook. No course has prepared him for how to solve a ship with riddles, with Tolkien-esque riddles. But he has to use all of his know-how, and he somehow corrects the spirit of the ship. The spirit, of course, you know, is the love child of him, the succubus. He corrects it. He's a good father, but more importantly, he's a smart dad because he answers all the riddles. He figures out and solves all the riddles, and he does miraculously save and repair the ship. So then he goes back to like his ship. You know, he goes back to the captain. He's like, "Man, I did it again. You won't even freaking believe what I just did." And the captain says, "Let me guess. It was something a bit unexpected." Then they all rear their heads back and laugh and freeze frame when the credits roll. It's one of my favorite episodes. Yeah.
You.
What? What happens? An unexpected. It's a tall pour, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Oh, kudos. See, again, you're thinking Star Trek-y.
I'm trying, man.
You are thinking Star Trek-y, and I love it. Enterprise offers to help an unknown alien ship whose engines are malfunctioning. Trip Tucker boards the bizarre vessel, and after a couple days, he helps get their engines operational again. During this time, Trip grows close to a female alien and they share an intimate, yet innocent, moment where they dip their hands into some mysterious crystals for a pleasurable experience. However, this comes with an unintended consequence. Trip is now pregnant.
Shut up.
He even grows a nipple on his arm.
That's kind of close. That's kind of close.
Oh, I'm proud of taking this out.
I'm actually proud of watching you take the L.
Wow.
I didn't predict Trip getting pregnant, but I was kind of close. He becomes a parent.
I was very tempted to like do a half shot when you said like he flirts or gets close with some, or no, when he bangs.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably would have taken it there, but as soon as you said space love child,
God damn, that felt good. That felt good. You just gotta think weird, guys. Think weird, and you're there at Star Trek.
You're now a seasoned veteran on this one.
Let's be real.
What's up, Commander T'Pol promised to keep your pregnancy secret? Promises. I don't want to ruin your appetites, but take a look at this.
Oh God. Arm nipple.
Arm
nipple.
While we're on the subject, are they going to go away afterwards?
Wow. God, anything can happen in Star Trek, man.
Yep. Anything unexpected?
Roll the credits.
This one I'm reluctant, because I've lost already 3 times in this round. I'm reluctant to even give you a hint on this one.
That's fair.
However, I don't know how to do this one, because this one's too easy. This is the Star Trek Voyager episode Tuvix.
Tuvix?
Tuvix.
Okay.
And it features Tuvok and Neelix. That's all I'm giving you. I refuse to give you anything else.
You don't need to. What are the characters' names again? Tuvok? Tuvok.
And Neelix.
Neelix.
I'm just gonna pour this right now.
Yeah, okay. I don't know anything about these characters except if the episode is called Tuvix.
Tuvix.
Why, that's a hybrid of their names, Ian. That's an amalgamation of their names. I have to assume that at some point there is a union. So like what happens is oh my god, I keep forgetting their names. Tuvok.
Yep.
And
Neelix.
Tuvok and Neelix. They're on a routine mission until they're not, and until a mysterious entity they encounter is like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we joined your bodies together? And before they can say no thank you ma'am, bam, all of a sudden now they're Tuvix and or whatever, and they're like think like Dragon Ball Z, right? With when Vagoku or Vegito, when they
Right? You all know it.
You all
know what
everyone
talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. It's that with Star Trek, and so they're all of a sudden they are one. Hence the name of the show. And so they have to, for much of the episode, they have to work out like how one organism can have two screaming minds, two differing different thoughts and everything. They have to learn how to team up together, and much misadventures and hijinks ensue. But before the credits roll, they are separated and parted, and they can all laugh. They can all laugh, and when they it's great. Once they go back to the cabin, they go back to the main cabin, and they talk to the captain, the bridge, thank you. and that's when they go to the captain, and they're like, "You won't believe the day we had," and that's when the captain says, "Try me," and then they all go, ah, and it freeze frames, and the credits roll.
I do forget how many episodes of Star Trek end in a freeze frame. How did I forget this? Freeze frame!
Right.
So, truth be told, I included this one because to this point I didn't think you would get 3, so I was going to throw you a frickin' bone, but now I regret it.
That's a tall one you poured. That's a tall one you poured.
There's a reason I said there might not be another one of these.
Yeah.
Tuvix! I gave you this one. Like,
You did. No, you did. You absolutely did.
I couldn't not include this one.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah, okay. A transporter incident, which happens all the time, results in Lieutenant Tuvok and Neelix being combined into a single person who names himself Tuvix.
What?
Pretty much enough said.
Yeah.
And Janeway murders him at the end.
Janeway?
Spoilers.
Yeah, Jesus.
God, I'm feeling them all already. Well, thank God. I don't think you'll get the next couple, so.
Alright, hit me.
The Next Generation, Season 2, Shades of Grey. The hint I will give you is that Riker is infected by a parasite. His brain is infected by a parasite.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave it at that. I doubt you'll get this one. But
Yeah, I don't think you'll need it. Alright, I'm going to use every iteration of Shades of Grey I can think of for this one. So, Riker
I will give you another hint. It's not sex related.
What? It's
not.
Riker. Riker, poor Riker, his brain gets infected with a galloping space parasite, one of the worst kinds. And it alters his personality. First off, he can only see in literal shades of gray, like black and white. He can no longer see colors. But also, it changes his personality completely, as brain parasites tend to do.
Sure.
He is a completely different person. And all of a sudden, he makes some choices on the ship that really affect all of the passengers of the ship and the crew of the ship. I got it. I'm sorry. It's been a minute, but I remember this episode.
I'm just loving the word right now. So.
He becomes a better crewmate, right? In terms of like, what's his profession? Is he a doctor?
He's the first officer.
First officer. He becomes a better first officer. But well, here's the thing: he's an asshole. Like he's better at his job, But personality-wise, because of the brain parasite, he becomes meaner, more hostile towards his fellow crewmates, and it's interesting. He's so like the captain and all the other crewmates. They have to wrestle with the fact that like, damn it, he's a real son of a bitch because of this brain parasite, but doggone it, he's getting his tasks done with efficiency, of a much higher efficiency than old Riker. Riker. Riker's different, you know. That's his brother. But Riker is just he's better at his job. He's better, but he's just really he's not sociable. He's not friendly towards his fellow crewmates. He's kind of an ass. He's kind of a pain in the ass. And so they have to wrestle. It's like, gosh darn it, hence the title of the show, Shades of Grey. They have to make this tough choice. It's like, this parasite's not hurting him. If anything, it's making him more efficient at his job, but it's not the same old Riker. And by the end of the episode, they have to make the very tough choice to rid him via medical procedure of the brain parasite. And so they get don't worry though, it ends on a good note. They get the old Riker back, and so he's on the operating table or whatever, and he's like, where was I? And then the captain says, right here. And they all go, ah, and the freeze frames it, all of them laughing, Riker included, with his like exposed brain, and the credits roll. And that's that episode.
Okay, first.
Yes.
Once again, I love how you are really thinking more Star Trek-y. It's still ridiculous, but it is still Star Trek-y.
Thank you.
So keep on that trend.
Yes.
Second, drink.
Yeah, there it is. That's fair.
Because I know you would not get this one. This one was my revenge. Commander Riker gets infected by a parasite, which Dr. Pulaski treats by forcing a comatose Riker to relive memories, resulting in Star Trek's first and only clip show episode.
Ew, a clip show episode.
After only 2 seasons.
That's ballsy. That's bold. Damn it, I remember Mike even talking about Shades of Grey. Damn it. Alright.
The original series, Season 2, a piece of the action. Here's your hint.
Mm-hmm.
The Enterprise visits a planet that was originally visited by a different Earth ship many decades previously. It might even be like 100 years, but the Enterprise returns to a planet that was visited previously by a previous Earth ship.
Okay. Piece of the action.
Piece of the action. Good luck.
So Kirk and his crew, they arrive on this planet, and then Shatner's like, behold, look, there's a ship, and oh my god, it's so old, well, 100 years old. They find this old ship because another crew had come to this planet before. In fact, this has had lasting effects on the planet. So there, since that previous ship's arrival, right? The crew that departed from this previous ship, they infected the civilization somehow in such a way, right, where they kind of run things, right? They actually broke the Star Command protocol. The Starfleet protocol.
Was this Galaxy Quest?
I don't know what I was doing. Might have been like Buzz Lightyear. I don't even know.
Oh yeah.
But they broke the protocol.
Star Command.
Right. Yeah. It is absolutely Toy Story what I was doing. But they arrive on this planet. So the previous civilization infected the civilization in such a way where they kind of like, I won't say enslaved, but they kind of like run the show on this planet. And they're, so at first, Captain Kirk, he comes across the descendants of the previous ship, right? These descendants are running the planet essentially. They're running like the government and all the finances. They run the show on this ship. And at first, Captain Kirk is horrified. He's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, this isn't Starfleet's protocol.
It's not Starfleet.
You're breaking protocol by doing this. And that's when the descendant of the original crew, he goes to Kirk and he's like, "You want a piece of the action?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Dude, we are making a killing on the civilization. Like, we are cleaning house. We are hundreds of years advanced, like beyond advanced, beyond this civilization. We are just taking advantage of like every factor we can because this civilization that we took over, they don't know any better. You guys, you know, you're Starfleet, you know, like you can get a piece of this." And gosh darn it, Captain Kirk, he's tempted. And it's not just him who's tempted, it's his other subordinates. It's the other people on the Enterprise that are hella tempted. In fact, they're more than tempted. They actually take part. They're like, "Captain Kirk, this is a good deal we got going on. Like, I'm a millionaire on this planet. Like, I'm actually like, I got, you know, like, it happens. Like, all of a sudden, every dude is just surrounded, and some of the women too, because they're progressive. They're just surrounded by women who just give themselves to them because, like, that's how things run on this planet. You know, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, like, that's what's happened. They're all getting a piece of the action, but somehow Kirk he's not corruptible, and he fights it. It's not easy. It's not easy because he's tempted many a time in this episode, you know, with riches, with sweet wines and cornucopias of food, and women. So many women. And he probably bones one or two in the episode. But finally he's like, "No, this is not who we are at Starfleet. This is not who we are at Star Command." Both of them. Like, shame on you. And what he does, he actually breaks up the whole operation. He infiltrates, he pretends to be on their side, but he blows it up from not literally, but he blows it up from the inside. He somehow infiltrates the corrupted system, and he blows it all up, and then they depart. And so like in mid-transit, like as Kirk's crew leaves the planet, you know, and the planet finally goes back in control of the original inhabitants, right? Kirk leaves and he turns to his crew and he says, "Well, I hope you all learned something today." And then they all say in unison, "Nope." And that's how it ends, and that's the tale.
Just nope.
Yeah. No freeze frame. They're just all saying no. We did, because we had riches. You took that away from us, Captain. But you know, oh Captain, my Captain. That's how it ends.
I might get some hate from the comments on this one, but I'm gonna take a half shot.
Oh yeah?
I'm gonna take a half.
All right, then I'll do half with you. All right, a cheers. What's the synopsis?
You hit a few things.
Did I?
That were like, if I ever do this again,
yeah,
I need a judge.
Yeah. I agree. You need a third party.
Because
you need a third party.
Yeah. The Enterprise visits a planet whose inhabitants have a strong imitative tendencies. 100 years prior, an Earth ship visited and left behind a book about 1920s Chicago mob bosses, which the inhabitants have now based their entire society on.
Amazing.
So the reason I took a half a shot is because you were talking about, you literally used a cut, corrupted by the previous visit.
Yes.
You also said, like, you want a cut of the action. Kirk literally says, I mean, that's the reason for the title, like,
yeah.
you can get into the piece of our action, like we'll split up, and they try to like manipulate it to where like one person rules the planet, but it's still like puppeted by the Starfleet and Federation. And you hit a few of those points, and I feel like the hate I'm gonna get in the comments is basically you need to finish the rest of that shot.
Oh damn it!
And I'm tempted to, but at the same time,
it's whiskey.
I don't want to die.
No, I think half's good. Let's leave it at half. I think half's fair. The way you just described it to me.
This was not the one I expected you to get.
I think half is fair for this.
Oh my god. Alright, once again, this is one where I'll probably give a minimal hint.
Okay, thank you.
Because I think you could get this one. This is the Next Generation episode, Rascals. And your jumping off point, your inciting incident is a transporter incident. Who'd have thought? A transporter incident kicks off the episode Rascals.
Okay, and the transporter, that's the thing on the bridge that like teleports people in and out?
Not on the bridge, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a transporter.
Like the beams?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you just said an incident happens, or what was it?
There's a transporter incident.
Transporter incident.
In the episode Rascals.
Got it. Okay.
All I'm saying.
Okay, well that's all you need to say, because it's an infamous episode, Rascals.
It is.
Yeah. So, you know, not unlike the... Are they called truffles? Trebles.
Tribbles?
Tribbles.
Yes.
The episode starts off with a normal by-the-book mission. Adventure, whatever. They go to a planet, collect some rocks, some plant life, right? Like, oh, looks good, looks like a plant. They reach in the soil, and they're like, there's some planet dirt. I'm gonna put this in my pocket and not tell Captain about it, right? Wouldn't you know it? Within the soil are dozens of rascals. So stupid.
Define rascals.
You know, just little rascally, stringly bringos, just these little ragamuffins, these rascals. Someone, either wittingly or unwittingly, you know, knowingly or unknowingly, accidentally or on purpose, I think accidentally, they bring back on the ship via the teleporter, is that what you said? Transporter.
No.
These little specimens, and these specimens, they go undetected. I don't think anyone meant to bring them back on the deck with them, and these specimens are troublesome, hence the name Rascals. They have teeth, and they bite into wires, like rats, but space rats and worse. And they're rascals because they talk too. I think they bark and they talk, and they're small. They're about the size of they're smaller than a shot glass. They're rascals, but they're kind of like gremlins. They multiply, and that's what makes it really troublesome. They multiply on the ship very quickly, and so all of a sudden the ship is it's getting overrun with these rascals until the captain, in their infinite wisdom, realizes that rascals are allergic to sunlight, and so they have to drive the ship to a star, to just the closest star system, the closest star, and they do, and the rascals see the star through like the main deck visor window, the viewer screen, and they're like, and they evaporate into nothingness, for that is the rascal's weakness. And so the captain turns to the crew and says, now what did we learn? And the crew responds in unison, never put soil in our pockets lest a rascal joins the ship. And it's weird, they all say it in unison, and they all rear their heads back, laugh, freeze frame credits.
After they pull out their pockets like, not me!
Right, to show that they're empty, yeah.
Okay, so,
yeah.
First, obviously drink.
Damn it!
But, I'm gonna join you for a sip. I'm gonna join you for a sip because you have hit plot points or moments that were actually part of other Star Trek episodes. Things like driving away alien forces by like flying into a star.
Oh, really?
That's happened.
Nice.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember anything else you said, but there were other things that you mentioned that were like, those were Star Trek episodes. So you had a conglomeration of various Trek episodes to incorrectly answer this question, but I will give you props.
I appreciate it.
Again, I'm so proud that you are thinking Star Trek-ly.
Thank you for the patronizing, but I must know what happens in Rascals.
Yeah, you do.
And those little rascals.
A transporter incident, which I forgot that. Did you even know this is where it began? I forgot. That was my hint to you, by the way.
Yeah, that was your hint. That's all you said. Like, a transporter incident happens.
I forget what you did with it because I'm drunk.
I just said like they bring like they go to an alien planet and then someone accidentally brings back life.
Oh, that was another reason I wanted to drink, is because that also is a very common Star Trek trope, is someone accidentally brings something back from the mission.
That makes sense.
I will gladly give you a sip for that one.
Okay.
Okay, so Rascals, TNG. A transporter incident, I wrote in my notes another one, because I'm so funny, results in Captain Picard, Keiko O'Brien, Ro Laren, and Guinan to become de-aged back to early adolescence.
Oh my.
As children, they then have to work together with the crew of the Enterprise to thwart the Ferengi to take back the ship, which the Ferengi have taken over.
Yeah, would not have come up with that. Would not have come up with they turn into children versions of themselves.
Do not argue with me. Go back inside.
I need to see him now. Now. I want my father.
All right, just stop that.
Wow. Wow.
What is going on?
Dad. Well, can't you just turn on the kids' computer in schoolroom 8?
Smart.
Just want to play a few games.
Smart.
I don't know if they'll let me, Jean-Luc, but I will ask.
Thanks, number 1. He's my number 1 dad.
There it is. Good save. Good save. That's awesome.
Okay,
Has it all come down to this, Ian?
it has all come down to this.
Okay.
And literally now the best for last.
Oh God.
I implore you, you need to throw logic out the window for this one.
Okay. All right. I will do my best.
And for those who have been screaming for this one, here's your chance. The second season Voyager episode, Threshold. Okay, my hint to you is this is a Tom Paris, but also Captain Janeway episode. Tom Paris is the helmsman for Voyager. And obviously Janeway, Captain. It's focused on those two. And your hint is they might have finally discovered a way home.
It's called Threshold, right?
Threshold.
Oh, that honestly, that means nothing. That means nothing. All right. So Tom
Paris.
and Jane Elway.
Yes, Captain John Gelway.
Oh my God.
Quarterback for the Denver Broncos in the 90s.
my God, no.
Yeah.
Okay, Janeway and Tom.
Paris.
And Tom Paris?
Tom Paris.
And who's he again?
He's the helmsman. He drives the ship.
Okay, I'm just gonna call him Tom.
Yep, absolutely.
Tom drives the ship,
Mm-hmm.
and then Janeway is the captain.
Mm-hmm. And they're seeking a way home, and they might have found that way home.
Okay. All right. So the episode, Tom and the captain, Janeway, they come across a portal. And a wormhole, if you will.
Yep.
And their captain says, dare I say it, could this be a way home, he thinks. We've sought this for years, right? A way home, that's all I've ever wanted, a way home, right? Yeah, it takes them to the 1970s disco era of planet Earth. And it's weird, so like Tom and Janeway are trapped in a 70s era America, specifically on Earth, and they have to win the disco tournament because the grand prize is $1,000, which was a lot more back then. But more importantly, it's their way to get I have no idea what I'm saying, by the way. I'm just drunk talking on fumes.
You're remembering the episode that you watched.
That's right. That's what I'm doing. If they win the tournament, if they win the disco tournament, right? They actually get and they gain an audience. I'm getting there. They get what would not make sense. They gain an audience with who kidnapped them in Voyager.
There's this entity called the Caretaker. It's a long story.
They gain an
but
audience.
it was a very powerful being who was like, you cross the galaxy.
they gain an audience with the caretaker. That's how they somehow find out. It's very convoluted, but they learn if they win this disco tournament, they gain an audience with the caretaker, and maybe that's their ticket home, right? Even though they're stuck in the 70s. And so there's a fun little montage. There's like a, or like a month's worth of montage of training that they do to undergo. Like they have to learn what disco is, and not just learn it, but they have to perfect it. And gosh darn it, they do. They come up with this awesome little duos performance, Tom and Janeway. And by golly, they win the disco tournament, right? By the skin of their teeth, they do. And sure enough, they make good on their word. The caretaker comes in and says, well, I have underestimated you two. I did not think you would, you found the portal that would take you to disco era, United States, but you actually you won the tournament, you bested your competition. And so Captain Janeway says, do we finally get to go back home? And the caretaker says, no, you don't get to go home. Off. And this is where things get weird.
Yes.
Weird.
Yes.
Okay. Like really weird. All of a sudden, they turn. The caretaker turns them into baby versions of themselves, like infant, toddler. Not even like baby versions of themselves. Well, Janeway, not Tom. Not Tom. If anything, Tom gets older. But all of a sudden, he's like cradling the captain. He's like, what? And the caretaker says, figure it out. Bye. And so all of a sudden, he has to raise his captain back. But yeah, he has to raise his captain. Like, he literally has to raise Janeway. And so over the course of like the next 20 years, he raises the captain from infancy to adulthood. Damn. And he ages. So he ages 20 years, obviously. This time doesn't ignore him, right? And so Janeway is, she has to relearn all of these old memories that like she doesn't really have that Tom does. Tom is like, Janeway, don't you remember this episode, that episode? So Janeway Janeway's in her 20s. She's much younger than when the episode started. But poor Tom is he's getting up there. He's getting silver in his hair, etc. Right? And nothing wrong with that, by the way. Some men wear it gracefully. Okay, comment section. Right, but she's like, well, gosh darn it, I feel like we're further from home now because you're old and I'm kind of young. I'm like, what happens now? So Tom says, I think you know what happens now. Yeah. So they mate and they have a few kids. Like that. That's what Star Trek would do. They mate. They have a few kids, and it's not out of love. It's just more out of like the mission of duty. Like they for love of Starfleet and Star Command, right? They have children. I'm just trying to think what doesn't make fucking sense. They have kids, all right? They have kids, and the kids actually turn out to be little mini caretakers too, which is like exactly not what they wanted. So the episode, it like becomes like a threshold of like what they won't even take anymore. Like,
I fucking hate you.
What happens?
I fucking hate you.
Wait, what happens?
You got it literally in like the last 30 seconds.
Wait, what?
You.
They have kids? What happens? This better be ridiculous.
Oh, it is. Tom Paris breaks the theoretical Warp 10 barrier.
Oh my god.
Which means he literally occupied every point in the entire universe simultaneously.
Cool.
Not the weirdest part. However, it had an unexpected side effect. When he begins to mutate into a lizard-like form. Still not the weirdest part. During an attempt to reverse the mutation, an erratic Paris breaks free from his confinement, kidnaps Captain Janeway, steals the Warp 10 shuttle, and goes on another Warp 10 flight. Although they literally could have been anywhere in the entire universe, Voyager conveniently finds them in 3 days. They discover that they have mated and spawned 3 little salamander babies.
Stop it.
Which which Voyager leaves behind. After some throwaway lines during a medical officer's log, Paris and Janeway are fully reverted back to their human forms.
But what about the kids they had? Never spoke
They
up,
just
spoke up again?
left them. Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible. You know what? That's the dumbest thing I've been heard in a long time. I'll take half of this. No, I'll take the whole thing.
You had to say Maiden. You had to say Maiden.
Sure did. Sure did, baby. And they had 3 little caretakers of their own. Lizard caretakers.
You even called the number right.
I did, didn't I? You better have a clip.
Oh, I do.
Oh no.
Oh, hey guys.
Oh no.
How you doing?
Oh god. Hey, that's pretty good.
Alright.
Yeah?
Sure. You just shot your captain. Just shoot your captain and your helmsman.
Guys.
No worries.
I'm not sure which one is the captain.
Shit.
The female, obviously.
Oh no, the kids. Oh no. We will never speak.
Put enter this into the log. I look forward to reading it.
Wow.
And they never saw them again.
Hey, Captain, remember the time we made it as lizard hybrids? That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard of.
God bless Star Trek.
Yeah, right?
Well, Jack, you have officially destroyed me more than I actually thought was going to happen.
Well, it goes both ways. I'm a bit destroyed today.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thoughts?
Yeah, let's, much like this episode, let's never speak of this ever again. You know, I learned something today.
Oh, tell me what.
No, I don't think I will.
No, no one learned anything.
No, I didn't learn that. I just learned that Star Trek's weird as hell. Oh, God.
Star Trek is the epitome of spectrum entertainments. There is the campiest, ridiculous, what the hell am I watching, to the most poignant, retrospective, or representation of today's world. There's action, there's camp, there's ridiculousness, there's thoughtfulness. Like, that's what I love about Star Trek, is it encompasses all of
I like
this.
that a lot.
My best comparison to Star Trek is Batman. Because Star Trek can be the 60s Batman, it can be as campy as the 60s Batman, but it can also be Christian Bale Batman.
Right. Yeah, that's a very...
It covers it all.
That's a nice metaphor. Yeah.
Jack, dude, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me,
Really
sir.
appreciate it.
Let us know in the comments how he did with the question making and how you did with the results.
Jack, to finish it off, tell everyone about you, about your channel, where can people find you, what you want to promote, have at it.
Yeah, you want to watch my stuff? I do like funny comedy bits on my YouTube channel. It's called Jacksfilms. I also stream fairly regularly now on Twitch, also called Jacksfilms, where I mess about with a dumb AI clone of myself that's linked to ChatGPT. It's quite fun.
How do you tie shoes as a girl boss?
Hey there, girl boss. Ready to slay the shoe tying game? Here's the scoop. Boss mindset. Get fierce and tie those shoes like a pro. Lace in hand. Cross them like a boss. Loop it up. Queen. Fold and create a loop. Wrap the other lace around. Multitasking like a boss. Pull tight and secure your shoe empire. Strut your stuff. Girl boss.
He's just a comedic channel across the board.
Thank you.
I love your stuff, dude.
Appreciate it, man.
And I love you.
That goes both ways, brother.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, dude.
This was awesome.
Thanks for having me.
I hate you still, though.
Yeah, that was, no.
Live long and prosper, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you all. I love you all. You're all amazing. Take care. Live long and prosper. Except for him. Because he made me drink too much.